All right, so get this. We're going deep on the Denver airport conspiracy today.
Well, this should be good.
Yeah, you guys sent in a ton of stuff, articles, notes. I mean, some of this stuff is wild.
I bet. Like what?
Underground bunkers, uh, like full-on doomsday murals.
No way.
Yeah, and of course, the whole New World Order angle.
Of course. Classic.
I know, right? It's like a conspiracy theory starter pack.
It's crazy how a place like an airport, somewhere everyone goes,
Yeah.
becomes this breeding ground for all these, like, anxieties, about control, hidden agendas, all that.
It's true, though, right? Like, I feel like airports are already kind of stressful.
Oh, totally.
And then you add in giant, creepy statues and weird murals.
But yeah, you got to talk about Blucifer.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so you land in Denver, you get your bags, and bam, you're greeted by this, like, demonic horse statue with glowing red eyes.
It's hard to miss.
It's intense, right?
Oh, yeah, it's 32 feet tall, this blue Mustang.
Yeah.
And, the artist, Luis Jimenez,
Yeah.
He actually died while he was making it. A piece of the sculpture fell. And, well...
Oh, wow. That's awful.
Yeah, it's a bit eerie, right? Adds to the whole, conspiracy vibe.
Totally. It's like something out of a movie. But the horse is just the beginning. The airport also has these murals.
Oh, yeah, the mural.
And they're not exactly sunshine and rainbows.
They're a bit intense.
Intense is putting it mildly. We're talking like gas masks, dead animals, a burning city.
Right. And the artist, Leo Tanguma, he said they were supposed to be about peace and harmony.
Really?
Yeah. But, I mean, look at them. They're pretty dark. Makes you wonder, about how people interpret art.
It's true. Like, can you separate the artist's intention from what people actually see?
Right. It's a good question.
Okay, but let's get to the good stuff. The bunkers.
Ah, yes, the underground lair.
Right. I mean, this is like peak conspiracy theory material. Massive bunkers under the airport built for the elite to, ride out the apocalypse. Yeah. It's a classic for a reason, right? I mean, the idea of these hidden worlds, all this secrecy and power, it's primal, Like, throughout history, powerful people have always had their hideouts.
Yeah, makes sense.
Castles, bunkers, you name it.
So... maybe not so far-fetched after all.
Well, I mean, the idea of, like, the world ending and the elite just chilling underground.
Yeah.
Maybe a little dramatic.
But the airport does have a ton of underground space.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
So.
I mean, think about it. Airports need a lot of space underground. Baggage handling, utilities, all that stuff.
True.
But still.
It's easy to get carried away, right? Sure. You just see these big empty spaces, and our minds go to, like, the most exciting possibility.
Yeah, secret bunkers are way more fun than pipes and wires. Speaking of exciting possibilities, what about that dedication plaque? The one mentioning the New World Airport Commission.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Sounds ominous, doesn't it?
Total conspiracy theory fuel. What is that all about?
Well, the truth is, it was just the name of their public art program.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, but you can see how that, with a name like that.
People would jump to conclusions.
Cool. It's like the perfect example of how misinformation spreads. You start with something simple.
Yeah.
And then it gets distorted, amplified, and boom, you've got a full-blown conspiracy.
Okay, but what about the Freemasons? They've got their symbol right on the dedication stone.
Of course they do.
Right. So is the airport secretly a Masonic lodge?
Ah, the Freemasons. Always a crowd favorite.
They do love a good conspiracy.
Well, they're known for their secrecy and rituals.
That's true.
But really, it's a fraternal organization. About personal growth, ethics, stuff like that.
So less about world domination.
Probably. But still, that symbol, it's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, to some, it represents community shared values.
Yeah.
And to others, it's like proof of this shadowy group controlling everything.
It all depends on how you look at it.
Exactly.
This is getting really interesting. We've got Blucifer, the murals, the bunkers, the plaque, and the Freemasons. What else is there?
Oh, we've only just scratched the surface. Remember those murals?
Yeah, the creepy ones.
Right. Well, some people think they're like full of hidden symbols and messages.
Whoa, hidden messages. Like what?
Like there's this one with a soldier wearing a gas mask, and he has a sword, and there's a rainbow coming out of it.
Okay.
Some people think it means the military is going to use like biological weapons, and the rainbow is like a false promise of peace after the destruction.
Jeez, that's dark.
Right. But it fits with the whole, apocalyptic vibe.
Yeah, I guess. But didn't the artist say it was about peace?
Yeah, I did. Which is kind of the point, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, it makes you think about, like, what art really means. Like, does the artist's intention even matter?
If people see something totally different.
Right. It's like, is there even such a thing as an objective interpretation?
Interesting.
Maybe these murals just like tapped into people's fears about the future, whether the artist meant to or not.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so what about the runways?
The runways.
Yeah, Denver has 5, right?
Right.
But some people say they only need 4, so what's the 5th one for? Like a secret UFO landing strip?
Not quite. Airports are designed with like future growth in mind, and you need backups in case of like maintenance or emergencies.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
So probably not aliens. Sorry.
Darn. But the layout is kind of weird, right?
What do you mean?
Well, some people say they're shaped like
A swastika.
Yeah. That can't be a coincidence, right?
Well, it's definitely eye-catching. Come on, we're talking about a massive construction project.
Yeah.
Tons of factors go into the design. To think they'd sneak in a swastika.
Seems a bit much.
Right. It's probably just like our brains trying to find patterns.
Like seeing faces in clouds.
Exactly. It's called pareidolia.
Yeah.
Our brains are wired to look for patterns even if they're not really there.
That's kind of freaky. But speaking of patterns, the airport itself is huge, right? Like massive.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Way bigger than it needs to be, some people say. So what's with all the extra space? More secret bunkers.
Well, it's true that big construction projects are good at hiding things.
Yeah.
But remember, airports are complicated.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes. What looks like wasted space to us
Might be totally necessary.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about the baggage system? I heard it's like super advanced, almost too advanced.
Oh, yeah. It was state-of-the-art when they built it. Designed to move luggage really fast.
But some people think it's meant for something else.
Like what? Secret government stuff?
Yeah, or maybe even alien artifacts.
Interesting. It did have some problems at first, which, fueled the rumors.
Makes sense. People love a good mystery.
It's true. We're drawn to the unknown.
And let's be real, the Denver airport is pretty mysterious. With the horse and the murals and the rumors.
It's the perfect setting for a conspiracy theory.
Totally. Okay, so now for the big one. The New World Order.
Ah, the classic.
Right. This theory says the airport's like a key part of their plan, for global domination.
Right. It's a pretty elaborate theory. Goes way beyond just the airport.
So what is it really about?
Well, it's about, fear of globalization. The idea that national governments are losing power.
And this, shadowy group is taking over.
Right. And for some people, the Denver airport is, proof of that.
I see. But why would they choose an airport out in the open like that?
Well, some people say it's intentional. Hiding in plain sight.
So the more obvious it is, the less people suspect.
Something like that. Of course, you have to be pretty deep into the conspiracy to believe that.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, moving on to something a little less intense. The gargoyles.
The gargoyles.
Yeah, those creepy statues above baggage claim.
Oh, right. They're kind of out of place, aren't they?
Totally. So what's the deal with them?
Well, gargoyles are actually a pretty old architectural thing. They're meant to, direct rainwater away from buildings.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and over time, they became, symbolic. Protecting against evil spirits and stuff.
So they're not like bad omens or anything.
Probably not. More like quirky decorations.
That's good to know. But
Yeah.
they do add to the whole, eerie vibe of the airport.
I get that. That sense of being watched.
Yeah.
It's a big part of conspiracy theories, isn't it?
Totally. Like someone's always watching or something's lurking in the shadows.
Right. The Denver airport with all its weirdness.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect place for those fears to take hold.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, but there's one more thing. Okay, so we talked about the art, the bunkers, the symbols, but what about the location? Like, why Denver?
Ah, yes. The location. That's a big one for the conspiracy folks.
Right. So what's the theory?
Well, some believe Denver was chosen because of what's underneath it.
Underneath it, like what?
Ancient tunnels.
Wait, seriously, ancient tunnels?
Yeah. Some say they were built by, lost civilizations. Others say aliens.
Aliens. Okay, now we're getting into some serious X-Files territory. But what are these tunnels for?
Well, that's where things get really wild. Some say they're used for, transporting secret stuff.
Secret stuff? Like, what?
Who knows? Government secrets, maybe? Alien technology?
I mean, that's what they want us to think, right?
Exactly. It's all part of the conspiracy.
Right. But are there actually any tunnels? Or is this just, a myth?
It's hard to say for sure. There are stories, from construction workers who say they saw weird stuff while building the airport.
Like what?
Tunnels that didn't seem to go anywhere, strange markings on the walls, stuff like that.
Spooky.
Yeah. And then there are the rumors of like strange noises and vibrations coming from underground.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Right. It's like the airport itself is hiding something.
Okay, but even if there are tunnels, why? What's the point?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some say they connect to other points of power around the world.
Like a secret underground network.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so we've gone deep on the Denver airport conspiracy. What have we learned?
Well, we've learned that people love a good mystery.
That's for sure.
And that airports, with all their weirdness and hidden spaces,
Yeah.
they're the perfect breeding ground for conspiracy theories.
It's true. I mean, we've got everything here. A giant demonic horse, apocalyptic murals, secret bunkers, maybe even aliens.
Right. It's like a conspiracy theory buffet.
Totally. But I think there's something deeper here, too.
What do you mean?
Well, I think this whole thing says a lot about us, about how we try to make sense of the world.
I think you're right. We're wired to look for patterns, to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Especially when things feel uncertain or scary.
Like a global pandemic or climate change or...
Or a giant blue horse with glowing red eyes.
Exactly. So maybe the Denver airport isn't really about a conspiracy at all.
Maybe it's just a reflection of our own anxiety.
Our need to find answers, even if they're not really there.
It's a good reminder, though, to question everything.
Yeah.
To be curious,
Yeah.
but also to be critical.
To think for ourselves. Well, that's our deep dive on the Denver airport conspiracy. What do you think? Is it all just a bunch of hot air, or is there something more to it? Let us know in the comments, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.